about inheritance and polymorphism. Okay, so we said that the inheritance. We talked about the inheritance in the last meeting. We said that it is very important topic, very important thing in this OOP, oriented object-oriented programming. We said that what is the aim? ليش احنا نستخدم inheritance? What is the benefits of this inheritance? What we said about inheritance? Save time, good. What else? We can save time. We can avoid redundancy. We can also save time about testing, okay, and fixing errors. Or repeating, yeah, we avoid repetition, okay. And we said that we need to use super. So if you remember, this is super keywords, and we said when we can use super, when it is mandatory to use super. To invoke another constructor. To invoke another constructor, okay? If you need a constructor from the super class, you can invoke this constructor using the super, okay? The super. You can also use this super in the different methods, but it is mandatory for the constructors, okay? You cannot call anything inside the constructor, invoke anything inside the constructor without super. Okay, after that, we talk about overriding, if you remember overriding, and we override the toString, we override equals from the methods that are defined in the object class. So we say that override is to change, to make changes in the implementation. The header, the signature of the method will be the same, okay? This is overriding. Overriding, for example, we said that for the method toString, it is just to print the name of your class and after that the number defining your class, okay, or your object, okay. And this is not very important. This is why this is the implementation in the object class. But when we use this toString, we need to be more informative. We need to be more interesting. Okay, so we override this toString in order to get useful, to get informative message. Okay، وشفنا انه ممكن مثلا radius في السيركل ممكن اسوي الويد والطول والعرض في الريكتانجل اتسترا. اوكي، اما انه يعطيني string at ونمبر it is not، ما فيها معلومه، ما راح استفيد شيء. اوكي، بس لما يقول لي السيركل شعاعها ولا نص قطرها 5 it's informative، يعني فيها معلومه. اوكي، I can have an idea about the object with its attributes. Okay, also for the equals. For the equals also we override the equals, and we see that we can use these equals in order to compare two objects. Okay. Now we stopped in the polymorphism. So this is all about the inheritance per class, subclasses. Okay, the hierarchy, the benefit of this inheritance, the syntax, how we can make some subclasses. So we need to use extends, and after that the name of your superclass. Okay, extends, for example, rabbit extends animal. Okay, tiger extends animal. We see here all of this. This is some examples about the inheritance. This is the super. Okay, and we said that the superclass constructor is always invoked, and you need to use the super. Okay, it is mandatory. This is the use of a super. You can use a super to invoke a constructor or to invoke a method. Okay, but for the method it can be omitted, it can be discarded. Okay, implicitly explained. Okay. After that, we compare the overloading versus the overriding. We said that we have two types of changes. Okay. We can change the header of your. We can change the method signature. Okay, and we can make the same signature but with different implementation. Okay, with different implementation. Here, this is the overriding. Overriding is with the same name, with the same signature in the super class, and in the subclasses with different implementation. Okay, but for the overloading, already the header will be different. There will be some with the same name, okay, just the name, but with different method. So it can be a return, the other will be void, it can be with more arguments, without arguments, etc. Okay, so this is overloading and overriding. We see after that, so after that the access modifiers, and we said that the visibility modifiers cannot be weakened. So if it is a public, so it needs to be public in the subclasses, okay? Or if it is private, it can be public in the subclasses, okay? This is the toString. We said that the toString, the implementation of this toString in the object class is to print the name of your class at and the number, and this is not helpful, this is not informative. This is why we need to override this method, okay, with the way that you need. The equals also, this is the implementation of equals, and we say that we need to make this equals, okay, we need to override, okay, in order to use the circle, because this is an object. So if you need to compare any object, you need to compare their attributes. How can I know that this circle is equal to this circle, or this student is the same, the other student? So I need to compare their ID. Now, how to get its ID? I need to make this casting, okay? Casting, this is an object. I need to make this object as a student, as a circle, as whatever الكلاس اللي راح تسوي له call or invoke for this equals, and you need to continue, okay? So please remember these implementations. You will be asked in every exam, TMA, MTA, and the final exam, for sure. equal, the toString, compare to, after that, كلهم هذا methods تسألوا عليهم في كل اختبار. Okay? Yeah. Till now كله في الميد. إلين بتنكفى. Yeah. Okay. So we said that this double equal is stronger. Okay, the double equal is stronger. لأنها it need the reference. Okay, and when you refer to the same object, so almost you will have reference and contents. Okay, إذا أشرنا على نفس الميموري فالمحتوى ونفس الريفرنس راح يكونوا نفسهم. Okay, this is why it is stronger. But for the equals لحالها, no, it will be test only the contents. Okay, so here you can see that here you have these double equals. Okay, it means that here you need to check if it is the same object with the same contents, not only like equals اللي هنا الاسم, it is just the content. You need to check if it is the same.
Is it for comparing?
And the same contents. Yeah.
Is it for comparing?
Yeah, this is for comparing, for sure. If you need to add a student to the course, if you need to add a passenger to the flight, if you need to add anything, if you need to add a course to the student, okay? All of this, you need to check if this course already exists in the schedule of the student or not. If this passenger already is registered in this flight or not, okay? So you need to use this equals, okay? You need to use this comparison, okay, between objects. Now, instead of, we said we see also here is instance of, so it means that is an object, okay? An instance of is used to test whether an object is an instance from this class or not, okay? After that, you have these questions. You can apply them in your at your home, okay? So we will apply later, inshallah, at lab, inshallah, in the lab session. Now we will move to the polymorphism. Okay, this is another important thing. We have already seen the overriding, the overloading. Almost the overriding and the overloading is it is among the polymorphism. Okay, so we said that the polymorphism is the ability for a word or for a symbol to mean different things with different context. صح ولا شفنا احنا نفس الميثود ممكن يكون عندها implementation مختلفة، نفس الميثود ممكن عندها header مختلف، اوكي؟ يعني عندها results مختلفة، اوكي؟ So this is the types of this is what is called the polymorphism. Now the types of polymorphism, the most common use of this polymorphism in OOP occurs when a parent class reference is used to refer to a child class object. Okay, it is a fruit, but from this fruit it is an apple. Okay, so this parent will show to the apple. Okay, and also it can be when having methods with the same name in different classes with relationship or without. Okay, it can be this relationship about overloading, overriding. Okay, and it can be without any relationship. Okay, so these methods may differ in arguments, in implementation, or no change at all, and overriding and overloading are types of polymorphism. Okay, so the polymorphism means that a variable of a supertype can refer to a subtype object, and a class defines a type. We said that each class defines a type. Okay, data type. It is an animal, it is a student, it is a passenger, it is a person, okay? This is the data type. The data type defined by the subclass is called the subtype, and the type defined by its subclasses or superclass, it is called supertype, okay? Now, therefore, you can say that the circle is a subtype of the geometric object, and the geometric object, okay, and the geometric object is the super type for the circle. Okay, this is the relationship between circle and geometric. We say that this is geometric and you have circle. Okay, extend the circle, extend geometric. So a circle is a subtype, جاية من subclass. Okay, and super type it is superclass. Okay. Now we will move to the dynamic binding and generic programming. So if you can see here that in this class, public class polymorphism demo, okay, you can these methods, look at this method with this method M. So if you see in this method M, you have this M, okay, this is your M, your method. It is a method inside, okay, with the class polymorphism demo. This is the first method, اللي هي main. This is the second method, اللي هي M. Now, in this M, it will invoke the toString. Yeah, it will invoke the toString. Okay. Now, this method M takes a parameter of the object type. Okay. إيش أخذت الM? Object. إيش البارامتر؟ إيش الarguments? Object. Okay. So it can be a student, it can be a person, it can be any object that you have. Okay. It's because we said that the object is the root. The object is the root for all the classes. Okay. So when you have a method that it is or that use the object, it will be used for any type of classes that you have. Okay. Now, because it will use objects, so I can apply it for the graduate student, for the student, for the person, for the object also, okay? Now let's see how it will be invoked. An object now of a subtype, we said that an object of a subtype can be used whether its supertype value is required. So this feature, what is known as polymorphism. Now, when خلينا نشوف when the first line, M of new graduate student. Where is new graduate student? This is a graduate student. The graduate student is a child from the student. Okay? So this is graduate student. It is already, there is inheritance from students. Okay? Or student. This is the relationship between graduate student and the student. Now I will move. Okay. In this method, in this class, I didn't find the M. That's the here any M. There is no M method. So I need to search this M in the superclass. Okay. What is the superclass? It is a student. So I need to go to the student. This is the class student. Already the class student extends person. Okay. This is student. Here already in person. Okay. Here child. Okay. من البيرسون اللي هي subclass, superclass, sorry. Okay. Now, the student is a subclass from person, and inside this class we have the toString. ايش سوينا للtoString هنا؟ overriding. اوكي شفتوها return student. غيرنا في الريتيرن تبعها. اوكي كانت print out اللي هي الريتيرن كانت return string، بس string اللي قلنا بالاسم الكلاس at وبعدين number. اوكي now لا it will be student. The result will be student. Are there any M here؟ حصلنا method M؟ لسه ما حصلناها. I need to go to the superclass of a student, which is person. Okay, where is person? This is person. Okay, in this person extends the object. Okay, extends the object. وش قلنا احنا ايش هي الاوبجكت؟ the root. Okay, even حتى لو ما هي مكتوبة الاوبجكت it will be implicitly okay defined. Okay, قلنا حتى ولو ما كتبنا extend object this one, it means that it will extend the object. Okay, and in this extend you will have return person. Okay, you will have this toString. You will have the implementation of this toString. Okay, طيب نرجع هنا نحصل الام جوة البوليمورفيزم ديمو. Okay, now when I have, so what is my object now? What is my object for the first line? Graduate student. The data type of my object is graduate student. Now when I need to apply graduate student to toString, which toString will be used? It will be, I will see in the graduate student, there is nothing here. There is no overriding of this toString in this graduate. I will see, have a look at the superclass of this student, which of this graduate student, which is a student. So in this student, I will see that there is return student. So what is the output will be there? It is student. Okay, the output will be student, the first one. Okay, now for the second one, if I create a new student, also student, I have already student. Okay, فيها موجودة. Okay, اللي هي student. نمشي. Okay, the second, it is a student also. طيب الثird, new person. Person البيرسون فيه لها to string. Yes, so I need to use the person. Okay, it will be a person. Now the last one, what will be the last one? الobject. ايش هو الobject? New object. Okay, so I need to use the toString of the object نفسها اللي هي object at. okay, هذا اسم الكلاس at وهذا الايدنتيفاير تبعت الكلاس. okay, واضح؟ So this is when the method now m object x is executed. So the argument x toString method is invoked. X may be an instance of graduate students, may be a student, may be a person, may be an object. All of them are correct. Okay, because the object is very very general. Okay, it is the root. لما أقول object يعني أي شيء أبغى أسويه جوة الأوبجكت ينفع لأنها كلهم sub classes from object. Okay, so the classes graduate student, student, person, and object have their own implementation of the toString method, and which implementation is used will be determined dynamically by the Java virtual machine at runtime. And this capability is known as dynamic binding. Which one will be used؟ هذا ما يسمى بالديناميك بيندينج. اوكي، لانها على حسب قلنا الامبلمنتيشن اللي موجوده في الكلاس. اذا ما هي موجوده في الكلاس اروح للسوبر كلاس، ما هي موجوده في السوبر كلاس اروح للسوبر كلاس تبعها etc. اوكي، so this is what is called the dynamic binding or binding. It will search for the right implementation for your toString. So the dynamic binding works as follows. Suppose an object O is an instance of the class C1, C2, Cn, okay, where C1 is a subclass from C2, C2 is a subclass from C3, etc. Okay, you have hierarchy. Okay, so that Cn is the most general. So here you have the Cn is the most general class. Is the parent of our classes, like here in our case, the object. Okay, the object. Okay, so in Java, this Cn is the object class, and if O invokes a method, okay, P, so the Java virtual machine search the implementation for the method P in this order. Okay, in the first class. If it is not in the first class, in its super class. If it is not in super class, super class, etc. Okay, until إذا ما حصلنا مرة راح نرجع للأوبجكت. اوكي، إذا دورنا ما حصلنا toString مثلا، دورناها في C1 ما حصلناها، في C2 ما حصلناها، في C3 ما حصلناها، خلاص وانتهت عندي البرنامج، عندي بس في له 3 classes. So I need to return to the toString from the object. Okay, because the object we said it is the most general, the root for all the classes. Okay, so this is an description about this. الCN قلنا دائما تكون الobject. This is the most general implementation. Now the method matching versus binding. Okay, matching method signature and binding method are two issues. So the compiler finds a matching method according to a parameter type, number of parameters, and order of the parameters at compilation time. Whereas a method may be implemented in several subclasses, so the Java virtual machine dynamically binds the implementation of the method at runtime. Okay, في فرق بين الماتشنج وبين البيندينج. الماتشنج راح يقارن، قلنا الهيدر راح يقارن الارجيومنتس يشوف هي نفسها الميثود ولا لا. اوكي، البيندينج the same name but it will have many implementations, so the compiler need to choose the right implementation for this method. Okay, now for the generic programming, so the polymorphism also allows methods to be used generically for a wide range of object arguments, and this is what is known as generic programming. If a method's parameter type is a subclass, is a superclass, so you may pass an object to to this method of any of the parameters subclasses. Okay, if it is like here, we have the object, the superclass, so we can pass these methods to the student or to the, for example, graduate student. Okay. Now, when an object, student object or string object, okay, is used in the method, the particular implementation of this method or of the object that is invoked will be determined dynamically. Okay, اللي هي سميناها dynamic binding, okay, for the implementation. Now the casting objects, again, you have already used the casting operator to convert variables of one primitive type to another. الcasting من int الدبل من دبل الint, okay, etc. Casting can also use to convert an object of one class type to another within an inheritance hierarchy. Okay, لازم يكون فيه inheritance. Okay, so in the preceding section, the statement M new student assigns the object a new student to a parameter of the object type, and the student here the statement is equivalent to كأني أنا سويت I create an object O of data type student. This is the implicit casting. Okay, زي ما شفنا الparent والchild root or apple. Okay, and in fact I have a casting. I reduce the object, the very general, to some specific class اللي هي هنا student. Okay, and I can invoke or pass this method to this object. Okay, so the statement object O is equal to new student known as implicit casting. حتى انت ما سويتيها هو نفس الكومبايل راح يفهمها بالطريقه هذه. Okay, is legal because an instance of a student is automatically an instance of object. Okay, an instance of student كل student قلنا راح يكونوا objects لانه الروت تبعهم البارنت الاخير تبعهم هو الاوبجكت. Okay, so I can make this implicit casting. Now, why casting is necessary? Suppose you have to assign the object reference O to a variable of the student type using the following statement. So the student B is equal to O will lead to an compiler error, okay, or compilation error. Okay, why? This is B, it is a student. Okay, O is an object. Okay, now why does this the statement object O is equal to new student work and the statement student B is equal to O doesn't work? ليش الأولى اشتغلت والثانية لا؟ هل كل student هو object؟ هل كل object هو student؟ Yeah, good. This is yeah. A student, it is necessarily an object, but an object, it is not necessarily a student. There is many other objects. Okay, so here when we used this casting, it's true because the student is almost apart from the object. Okay, but here the object is very big. هو البارنت عنده student وعنده graduate student وعنده other string وعنده what other tab classes. Okay, so I cannot limit this use. Okay, so this is because the student object is always an instance of object. This is why this is true. Okay, دائما student هو object بس الobject ما هو دائما student، ممكن يكون other type. Okay, دائما الابل fruit بس الفروت فيها بس الابل، فيها الاورنج والبنان وال etc. all these different types. Okay, so I cannot casting the fruit to apple, but I can casting the apple to fruit. Okay, so but an object is not necessarily an instance of student. So even though you see that O is really student object, the compiler is not so clever to know that. Okay, and this is why you need to use how to make this writing good. You need to make this student all. زي ما سوينا في الايكوالز لو تذكروا الاوبجكت سويناه سيركل، لانه قلنا ما راح يقدر يفهمها اذا تبغى نسوي ال this سوينا هنا السيركل because it is an object and not only all the objects are circle. Now if you need to use this equals with circle, so you need to casting to circles. Okay, if you need to use this equals to students, so you need to cast to students. Okay, this is not implicit, يعني you need you to make it not implicit. ما راح يفهمها الكومبايلر لحاله اذا انت ما كتبت له الكاستنج هذا، هو يقول له هذه الاوبجكت تراها سيركل، لا. اوكي، so you need to make this casting. Now casting from superclass and subclass, so you have some explicit casting must be used when casting an object from a superclass to a subclass, and this casting may not always succeed. Okay, so if you have an apple, okay, you can make casting from this object to fruit to only the apple. Okay, and if you have an orange also, you can make this fruit casting, make casting on the orange. And why here it is correct? Because the fruit is a superclass. Okay, فإذا أنا أبغى apple, not all the fruit are apple. Okay, if I have an object fruit, I need to make it casting this to the apple in order to use the methods for this apple. Okay, so to help understand casting, you may also consider the analogy of fruit, apple and orange, with the fruit class as the superclass for the apple and orange. So an apple is a fruit. Okay, so you can always safety assign an instance of apple to a variable for fruit. Okay, however, a fruit, it is not necessarily an apple, so you need to use this explicit casting to assign an instance from this fruit from this apple to the fruit. اوكي، زي كل الكلاسات اللي فيه لها هيرارشي. اوكي، كلهم قلنا يكونوا اوبجكت يرجعوا للروت الاوبجكت، بس مو كل الاوبجكتس عندي ستودنتس ولا بيرسون ولا geometric ولا circle whatever. Okay, I need to make this casting. If we are from the superclass to the subclasses, I need to make us this casting. From subclasses to superclass, I don't need. Okay, so this is all about the meeting file. Did you have any question, guys?
Thank you, Doctor.
Any question before moving to meeting 6? من subclass لا، you don't need casting، لأنه كل subclass هو السوبر. اوكي، من السوبر للسب مو كلهم فروت، عندي أكثر من نوع. اوكي، عندي أكثر من نوع في نفس الفروت، في نفس الانيمال، ما عندي حيوان واحد، عندي كمية حيوانات. اوكي، ما عندي نوع واحد من ستودنت، عندي graduate وعندي post graduate وعندي graduate etc. اوكي، so I cannot make casting from the super to the sub, but from the sub to the super لا، كلهم يرجعوا للسب للسوبر كلاس. اوكي، clear guys? Do you have any question about this meeting 5? So we will inshallah in the lab session we will talk about this polymorphism, overriding, all of these methods. Okay, just now we will start meeting 6. It is about abstract classes. Okay, so we will start by abstract classes. We cannot continue. We see we cannot continue almost. But abstract classes, you will see that it is related to this inheritance. Okay. When I said that I have person or I have animal, okay, animal or person. It is a very geometric shape. Geometric shape. Can you create an object from geometric shape? إذا قلت لك أعطيني object صور لي object من geometric shape. Do you have enough information to construct or to create this shape? إذا قلت لك صور لي حيوان، إيش الحيوان اللي راح يجي على بالك؟ الأنيمال. في كذا animals، في الأنيمالز اللي يطير، وفي الأنيمالز اللي تمشي، وفي أنيمالز عندها رجلين، وفي أنيمالز عندها 4 رجل etc. Okay. So this is what is called here abstract classes. Abstract classes is the classes that are abstract. مجردة. Okay. You cannot create instances from these classes. Okay. But why we need to use? Because there is some common attributes. زي البيرسون، لما أقول لك شخص person، كل الأشخاص عندهم gender، عندهم اسم، عندهم ID etc. Okay. But البيرسونز تختلف، الموظف من الستودنت، من الباسنجرز، من المسافر، من العامل، من الحار etc. Okay. This is the object, the classes that I can create. Okay. بس لما أقول لك object, create an object from person، ايش هو البيرسون هذا؟ فين احطه انا هذا البيرسون؟ اوكي. So this is what is called here the abstraction or the abstract classes. The abstract classes will be the very general with the very common features and common methods. اوكي. اشياء ممكن تحصلها في جميع الحيوانات. How to eat or how to I don't know reproduce or okay. But if you make some characteristics, you cannot make these deep characteristics because there will be difference. Okay, so you need to make inheritance. Okay. So the objective of this tutorial is to design and use these abstract classes to specify the common behavior for objects using interfaces. Okay. To define the interfaces and define classes that implement interfaces, and to explore the similarities between interfaces and classes. Interfaces, this is another thing about البرمجة الشيئية. It is not a class. Okay, interface, it is not a class, but شبيهة بالكلاس. في لها methods. Okay, وفي لها أشياء خاصة فيها تشبه الكلاس. Okay, we will explore the similarities, the differences بيناتهم between these concrete classes, abstract classes and interfaces, and we will design that the classes that follow the class design guidelines. So let's now start by the definition of an abstract class and an abstract method. Okay, an abstract class اللي قلنا عليها defines a common set of methods and common set of instance variables for each subclasses. في أشياء مشتركة في البيهيفير، في الكاركترستكس، في الاتريبيوتس، راح نخليها فين؟ في abstract class. بيقولوا أنتم إحنا طيب شفنا البارنت كلاس، صح ولا لا؟ السوبر كلاس ما كان زي كده كمان في له الأشياء المشتركة. أوكي، صح ولا لا؟ شفنا في الانهيرتنس، شفنا إنه السوبر كلاس في له الكومن فيتشرز، كنا نسوي انهيرتنس عشان ما يصير redundancy وما يصير repetition. أوكي. Now an abstract class could contain abstract methods also. And what is an abstract method? The abstract method is a method header defined in the class without implementation. احنا شفنا already overriding، صح ولا لا؟ وقلنا ممكن الميثود يختلف الامبلمنتيشن من كلاس لكلاس. طيب ما دام هي حتختلف انا ليش اسوي لها implementation؟ اخليها abstract. وبعدين كل مين يبغى يشتغل مع الميثود يسوي لها implementation. اوكي، عوض ما كنا نسوي الاوفررايدنج هذيك نفسها هي overriding، بس كانت overriding الامبلمنتيشن موجوده، صارت ما في implementation سوينا لها implementation. اوكي. So this is كمان من بين ميزات الابستراكت كلاس. الابستراكت كلاس you will have these common features, these common methods, and you will have, it can contain some abstract methods. Abstract method إيش يعني؟ method without implementation, just الهيدر. اوكي؟ اعرف انه في how to eat ولا eatable ولا comparable. راح نشوف comparable اذا تبغى تسوي comparison. اوكي؟ I need to use this method but it will be different لما اقارن السيركلز مختلفه، قلنا على الستودنتس مختلفه على الجيومتريك شيبس وات ايفر. اوكي، تسوي كلاسز. الاختلاف هذا في الامبلمنتيشن خليها ابستراكت عشان لما ابغى استخدمها اسوي لها implementation الاديكوات. اوكي، so one cannot create instances of abstract classes. Another thing from the abstract classes ايش قلنا عليهم كمان؟ يلا نرجع نعيد ايش راح تحتوي ال abstract classes. common features, method, abstract methods which are methods without implementation, and another thing, you cannot create instances from these abstract classes. You cannot create instance from animal, from person. Okay, this is very general. Okay, I need to make these common features from animals in this abstract class. But when I need to create animal, I need to make more precision. It is animal with 4 legs, with 2 legs. It is a bird, it is an insect, it is whatever, okay? The classes that you will implement, okay? So the abstract classes also are specified in the class header using the keyword abstract. Okay, you need to add abstract مع الاسم. كنا نكتب public class بعد class name، صرنا نكتب الحين public abstract class بعد class name. Okay, this is the difference between concrete class، الكلاس الغير مجرد، الكلاس الكونكريت don't know in Arabic فعلية. Okay, with abstract. And this is also for the method, abstract method. For the abstract method كنا نكتب public و return data type وبعدها الميثود name وبعدها الارجيومنت. كمان راح نضيف الابستراكت عشان نقول انه هي هذه ما يحتاج لها implementation till now، هي abstract. Okay, clear? So this is an abstract. خليني افتح واسوي لكم مثلا person. Okay, now when we talk about abstract class, the opposite تقريبا of abstract class is a concrete class. class فعلية ممكن أنا أنشأ منها objects وكل شيء فيها واضح وفيها implementation وما في لها أشياء مخفية. Okay, so concrete subclass now is needed. إذا كان عندي abstract class, so you need to create these subclasses and concrete. Okay, إذا أنا سويت person لازم بعدها على طول أسوي passenger ولا أسوي student extend persons. أوكي، لأنه ما أقدر أستخدمها هذه person، قلنا ما أقدر أسوي منها objects. So I need to create this subclass, this concrete subclass. concrete يعني ما هي مجرد الحين، لا في لها الامبلمنتيشن وفي لها الميثود تبعها وفيها كل المحتويات الكلاس. أوكي، and this it is needed to extend an abstract class, and the subclass now should implement the abstract methods. Okay, using the same header. It is the overriding اللي شفناها. Okay, file new project. Okay, so in this lab 6, you will create a new Java class. It is called person, for example. Okay, this person. In this person, you will have we say that it is an abstract. So I need to use here abstract. ما ننسى كلمة الابستراكت. اوكي. كمان قلنا في عندي بيكون عندي بعض الاتريبيوتس private for example string string name. اوكي. plus دائما الاتريبيوتس نخليها private. I can use الجيتر والسيتر to access to this. Okay, so this is another thing. يعني البرايفت للاتريبيوتس قلنا to protect. Okay, and we can use الجيتر والسيتر to access and to mutate, to change. Private any character, for example char, for example gender. Okay, after that you have the for example age. يكفي الاتريبيوتس. we need now الميثودز الابستراكت ميثودز اللي قلنا عليها زي ايش؟ البيرسون كلهم ممكن التو سترينج ممكن اسويها. لا اسوي لكم طيب خليني بعدين اضيفها. so this is الابستراكت. خليني اوريكم هنا لو اجي اسوي في المي واسوي نيو اوبجكت من بيرسون. اوكي، فهنسوي بيرسون P is equal to new person. Okay, what is the problem? Person is abstract, cannot be instantiated. يعني you cannot create instances from this person. Okay, so you need to create. This is why إيش قلنا عليها? We need to create
abstract.
We need to create what? Not abstract. We need to create subclasses. Okay, students مثلا هنا. Okay, now this student اللي قلنا عليها ايش تسوي؟ extends person. Okay, now إذا عندي students okay I can use a new student and it will be fine. Okay, this is a data type person. You can use the class, the abstract class as data type, but you cannot make instances. Okay, I can use ممكن استخدم البيرسون كداتا تايب بس ما في كونستراكتور، ما استخدم الكونستراكتور تبعه لانه ما راح يسوي لي objects. Okay, so this is what is meant now here by abstract and concrete. Okay, concrete you can create, you can implement الابستراكت. Okay, now concrete class is fully implemented class with no abstract methods, and concrete methods is a fully implemented methods. Okay, so you understand the difference between concrete and abstract for method and class. Okay, عندنا concrete class, abstract class, concrete method, abstract method. Okay, concrete يعني fully implemented، ما في شيء ناقص، ما في شيء ما اقدر استخدمه، ما في شيء مجرد. Okay, بينما الابستراكت no, it will be not fully implemented, there cannot be instantiated, etc. So the concrete subclass is to extend from an object, an abstract class should implement all the abstract methods even if they are not used in these subclasses. Okay, يعني لو مثلا عندي method هنا print abstract method print here you have in person abstract method اللي قلنا عليها الابستراكت method public وبعدين abstract وبعدين عندنا void print person مثلا. اوكي. Okay, so this is an abstract. Now, once I create a student here, you need to على طول طلعت لي الغلط. Student is not abstract and does not override abstract method. So you need to override. حتى شفتوا ال print person هذه if it is not used by the student هذا الكلاس but it need to be implemented. يعني أجي هنا دحين وأكتب نفس public وبعدين نفس اسمها بس بدون abstract void print person. Okay, and I need to implement system dot out dot print ln student مثلا. okay. Okay, so this is why you need to extend this print person. Print person كتبتها بالغلط. اوكي، تروح على طول راح الغلط لانه سويت انا overriding للابستراكت كلاس للابستراكت ميثود. اوكي، اذا عندي اي ميثود هي ابستراكت في الابستراكت كلاس اول ما اسوي concrete sub classes I need to implement. اوكي، حتى لو ما راح استخدمها I need to implement. I need to write anything. اوكي، واضح؟ So this is what is called here should implement all the abstract methods even if they are not used in this subclass. Now the abstract classes usually defines abstract method that are then overridden in this concrete subclass derived from them. It is possible to declare variables of an abstract class type. It is not possible to create objects. Okay, ممكن نسوي variables. It is possible زي ما سوينا الحين name or gender. Okay, but it is not possible to create objects. سوينا new person cannot be instantiated. Okay, now when to use these abstract classes؟ ايش قلنا متى ابغى نستخدم الابستراكت now؟ Usually when you have many classes that have common features اللي قلنا common features, common attributes, common methods. Okay, but in this case you create an abstract class that has all these common features wherein the common methods that have the same signature but with different implementations can be represented as abstract methods. Okay, عوض انا ما اسوي لك البارنت كلاس وفي لها مثلا البرنت اريا قلنا بين السيركل وبين الريكتانجل it is different. Okay, it will be an abstract method print area print perimeter. Okay, because the implementation will be different. So من الاول ما راح تسوي لها implementation في البارنت والimplementation راح تمشي في الchildren. Okay, and you will need you will need concrete subclasses to complete the implementation of abstract methods. بس ما تجي تسوي لي abstract method وتخليها بدون subclasses يصير ما عندها use. اوكي، لانه ما اقدر استخدمها ما اقدر اسوي منها objects. So it is necessarily that you create objects so that you create subclasses, concrete subclasses from this abstract class. Okay, now the abstract name will be utilized. Okay, mail في كتابة UML. اوكي، اسم الكلاس لما يكون abstract يكون mail. كمان الاسم بالنسبة لي الميثودز هنا abstract methods راح تكون ميلة. اوكي، يعني ايش؟ يعني انها ايش؟ abstract methods. اوكي، وسوينا الخط اللي تحت كذا لما سوينا ايش يعني هذا قلنا ستيتك. اذا فاريبل وسوينا تحته خط يعني ستيتك. اوكي. طيب البلس هذه طيب هذه الساين هذه indicate it is a protected modifier. البلس public, الماينس private. Okay. So this is the representation of the geometric object. geometric object شكل هندسي راح يكون very abstract، ما أقدر أسوي منه object، بس الشكل الهندسي ممكن يكون circle، ممكن يكون rectangle، ممكن يكون triangle etc. Okay, there is a lot of geometric shapes. Okay, and for each shape it has its own attributes, its own. شفتوها طيب هنا نفس السيركل والريكتانجل قلنا هم راح يسووا ايش؟ الميثودز get area and get perimeters are overridden in circle and rectangle. Okay, so they need to be implemented in a rectangle and in circle. Okay, with the right implementation. And this is an example about geometric shape. Now, abstract class without abstract method. You can have a class that contains abstract method, must be abstract. Okay, إذا كان عندي methods that are abstract, the class must be abstract. But you can have abstract class without abstract methods. Okay, ما هو بالضرورة إنه يكون عندي في كل abstract class abstract methods. Okay, so this is here what he said. The superclass of an abstract may be concrete. Okay, so a subclass can be abstract even if its superclass is concrete. Okay, for example, the object is concrete, but its subclasses such as geometric object may be sub-abstract. Okay. Now, concrete method overridden to be abstract. A subclass can override the method from its superclass to define it abstract. Okay, this is rare but useful when the implementation of the method in the superclass becomes invalid in the subclass. Okay, so in this case the subclass must be defined as abstract, but it is very rare يعني to use this يعني إنه نحول المethod from sub method. Okay, to from method to sub to abstract. Okay, abstract class as a type we can use. قلنا الabstract class as a type البيرسون ممكن نستخدم person as data type. Okay, you cannot create an instance from an abstract class using the new operator, but an abstract class can be used as data type. Okay, so therefore the following statement which creates an array whose elements are of geometric object type is correct. Okay, this is a geometric object. Okay, data type, it is an array of data type. Okay, that it is called, the name is geo, and you can use the new geometric object. Okay, 10, but this okay true because I can use this geometric object. بس احنا ايش قلنا بعدين لما سوينا الاري declaration of array، هل في هنا object بالسطر هذا؟ هل في object؟ تتذكروا ما في لها objects. You need to create this object one by one. Okay, just here you declare that you have an array of data type, of this data type. Okay, but the reference for this object does not exist till now. Okay, you need to create using the looping for each one. Okay, and use the constructor for this data type. Now this data type, it is not, you don't have constructor, you can use the constructor of subclasses. Okay, so we are not creating here geometric objects. Okay, we create the geometric references. Okay, we can then store references to object to any subclass of geometric objects in the array. So for example, geo of 0, it can be a circle. Geo of 1, it can be a rectangle. Geo of 2, it can be a rectangle also, etc. Okay, So I cannot use the constructor of this data type. Okay, a data type, it's okay, but I cannot create instances from this abstract class. I can use the children. Okay, so we can use geo to call any method in geometric object class in case of abstract methods that overriding concrete ones will invoke based on the type. Okay, now when I write system.out.println geo of 0, it is a circle, so I can use the get area, I can use the get radius, I can use dot radius, etc. Okay, the attributes, I can invoke all the attributes and methods in this circle. Okay, this will invoke the get area of circle class. However, you cannot call geo0 of get radius. Why? Get radius فين موجودة get radius? Because the geo, okay, is of data type geometric object, and set who get reduced is not a method there. Okay, so you can use just the methods that are in the geometric. Okay, here you get area, it is already in the implementation here. This is get area. It is an abstract class, an abstract method. Okay, and it is, but the set reduce here as geometric object, there is no get reduce, there is no set reduce. Okay, okay, so is it clear? Just you need to be sure about the data type. You can use the data type, you can use constructors from the other sub classes, but you cannot use methods from these subclasses. Just you will use methods from these, from the superclass. Okay, the abstract. Here. Now we will move to the interfaces. Okay, so this is all about abstract classes. Is it clear? You need more questions? Do you have any questions, guys, about abstract classes, abstract methods? We'll move now to the interfaces. It is like a class. It is not a class. Interfaces, it is like a class. Now, an interface is a class-like construct. Okay? The construction, the syntax, it is like the class, but it is not a class. Contains only constants and abstract methods. شفتوا محتواها؟ ما في attributes، ما في private وما في private attributes. Okay? في just constants and abstract methods. Okay? So an interface specifies a list of methods that a group of unrelated classes should implement so that their instances can interact together by responding to a common subset of messages. Now, in many ways, the interface is similar to an abstract class. هما similar. الاثنين في لهم abstract methods. Okay, can have abstract methods. But the intent of an interface is to specify common behavior for the objects. الانترفيس تمشي أكثر مع common behavior لأنه قلنا الاتريبيوتس ما فيها إلا constants. Final. Okay. So for example, you can specify that all objects are comparable, that all objects are edible, that all objects are clonable. Okay, using appropriate interfaces. Now, the interfaces are like a class. We say that it is like a class, but they may only have abstract methods. Okay? ولما نقول abstract methods, it means that method header without method code, without implementation. All these methods are automatically public and no need to write public in the method header. Okay? مدام كلهم public, كلهم abstract. So by default, okay? Constants also, but no instance variables. ما في name يختلف, ما في age يختلف, ما في gender, okay? لا, constant للجميع, okay? All constants are in an interface are automatically public, static, final. Public, static, or final. So know that an interface is not a class and will not have and will have no instances of its own, and so it has no attributes and no constructor. Okay. Now why as an interface is useful? ليش طيب احنا دخلنا دحين الانترفيس؟ ايش تفكروا؟ ليش الانترفيس؟ Okay. So we said that بالنسبة للinheritance, we said that الinheritance it is not multiple. يعني ما تقدر يكون عندك والدين، مو والدين، 4 والدين، 2 يعني جاي من 2 couples، صح ولا لا؟ inheritance كل مين جاي عنده من parent واحدة. Okay. Now when you need to have more parents, you cannot create this using inheritance. You can create it using interface. Okay. Interface it will allow you the multi-inheritance. Okay. So to have unrelated classes implement similar methods, or to model multiple inheritance, it means that you can inherit from multiple interfaces. So you want to impose multiple sets of behaviors to your class. Some Java methods can be applied to objects only if implement certain interfaces. لما أقول comparable أقدر أقارن حيوانات، أقدر أقارن أشخاص، أقدر أقارن students. أوكي. فهل وإحنا إيش شفنا بالنسبة للinheritance؟ قلنا ما يعني حتكون common features within الكلاس، صح ولا لا؟ طيب إذا أبغى شيء بين مختلفين classes مختلفة. أوكي. unrelated classes but they have similar behavior. كلنا نأكل، صح ولا لا؟ الشخص والحيوان both of them يأكل، both of them يتكاثر. Okay. both of them يعيش، يموت، etc. So we have similar behavior but we are unrelated classes. كلاس الحيوان مختلف عن كلاس الإنسان، صح ولا لا؟ بس في عندنا أشياء نسويها زي بعض behavior. Okay. So I can create this behavior using the interface. Okay. This interface. And more يعني furthermore this interface can be abstract. فيها abstract methods. So تقول لي مثلا والله احنا ناكل مختلفين على الحيوان، اكل الانسان مختلف على اكل الحيوان، صح ولا لا؟ It's okay. الامبلمنتيشن راح تختلف الابستراكت methods. اوكي. التكاثر مختلف. It's okay. عندك الميثود abstract method you can customize, you can change the implementation. The implementation will be different. Okay. So this is when you can use these interfaces. Okay. So the interface is a special class. يعني هو دائما نشوفوه كspecial class. An interface is treated like a special class in Java. So each interface is compiled into a separate bytecode file just like a regular class زي ما شفنا الcompilation تبع الكلاس. And like an abstract class, you cannot create an instance from an interface. ما تقدر تنشأ objects from this interface لأنه قلنا already these interfaces will describe the behavior. Okay, how to eat, how to compare, how to reproduce, etc. Okay, but in most cases you can use an interface more or less the same way you use in abstract classes. Okay, so for example, you can use an interface as data type for a variable, as the result of casting, and so on. Okay, but you cannot create instances from this interface. Now, how to define an interface? To distinguish between an interface from a class, so the Java uses the following syntax to define an interface. You have public interface, not class. Okay, and after that, the name of your interface. You have after that the constant declarations and the abstract method signature, the headers. Okay, and this is an interface editable. It is described how to it. Okay, and it contains public abstract string how to it. No need. Even if you don't write public, it's okay. Okay, because all of them we say that are public and abstract and constants. Okay, the same data type. So to make use of this interface, we need a class to implement this interface. The class does this by providing the code from any abstract methods in the interface. Here, when you have a class chicken, and it will implement eatable, okay, how to eat a chicken. Okay, now you can after that override this string how to eat method. Okay, اللي هي هنا how to eat. قلنا كل method abstract method need to be overridden in the subclasses. Okay, now you can use the eatable interface to specify whether an object is eatable. This is accomplished by letting the class for the object implement this interface using the implements keyword. For example, the classes chicken and fruit implement the eatable interfaces. Okay, so this is look representation. This is an inheritance. To inheritance, an animal is the chicken is an animal, the tiger is an animal. Okay, and this is an implementation. الامبلمنتيشن سويها بخط متقطع. اوكي، شفتوها تشيكن يبغى ياخذ اشياء من اكثر من بارنت، راح ياخذها هنا من الانيمال عن طريق الاكستنس الانهيرتنس، وراح ياخذ من الانترفيس ايديبل عن طريق الامبلمنت. اوكي، امبلمنت. Also for the and you can see for example a chicken والفروت unrelated classes، ما في علاقة بين الفواكه وبين الدجاج. اوكي، but both of them can be eaten. Okay, so this is why they can both of them implement how to eat. فهذه من بين قلنا استخدامات الانترفيس. Okay, so this is الانترفيس eatable. We can here create interface. New is not a Java, it's an interface. How to eat? No, not how to eat, eatable. ونيجي هنا نسويها interface. So this is public interface eatable. وقلنا في لها public abstract string how to eat. This is eatable. Okay. طيب نجي على students. قلنا extend persons implements eatable. على طول طلعت لي هذه. ليش طلعت الغلط؟ ايش هو الغلط الحين؟ زي ما سوينا قبل شوي لما سوينا extend persons. ايش قلنا؟ لما يكون عندي abstract methods لازم على طول اسوي لها الامبلمنتيشن. هنا الايدبل اول شيء انا كتبتها غلط هنا. بس حتى لو كتبتها هنا صح عندي لسه مشكلة، لأنها I need to override this how to eat in edible. شفتوها؟ I need to override this. So here, once I write public, no, here, public string, how to hit just يعني حتى من دون implementation على طول راح تمشي. اوكي اقدر اسوي system dot out dot print بس. اوكي clear. Yeah, it is a return. I need a return name. So return till now. Okay, just okay. So there is no problem now because all abstract methods are overridden. Okay. So this is, for example, chicken extends an animal, implements an edible. Okay, and return, for example, chicken, fry it. For example, a way to eat the chicken. Okay. And you can also, this is for the sound. You can also return the sound of the animal. The sound of animal will be different from one animal to another. Okay, so you can return the sound of each animal. Okay. Now omitting modifiers in interfaces. So because all the data fields are public, final, static, and all methods are public abstract, you can, for this reason, these modifiers can be omitted as shown below. So you don't need to write this public static final, this public abstract in the interface, because all of them will be with this definition. Okay. Now, constant defines in an interface can be accessed using the syntax interface name. Okay, إذا في عندي syntax t1.k, for example. Okay, إذا عندي any constants in this interface. Another example in these interfaces, it is the comparable interface. It is defined in the java.language package. Okay, so this is the header of this comparable interface. So the comparable interface will use objects, okay, of any data type. Okay, and here we cannot use object, it is entity, because object, it is for the classes. Okay, E for these interfaces. Okay, and it will use any entity, okay, of data type. Okay, زي object, بس ما نقدر نسميها object لأنه الobject class. Okay, the root. Now if I print compare to, also this compare to, virtual compare to here, how to compare? So you need to implement this compare to. Okay, you need to override this compare to in order to use this compare to. For example, for the integer, how to compare integers? You need to use the to compare to. You need to override compare to in order to compare أكبر أو أصغر أو يساوي. Okay, compare to also this string to that string. Okay, you can compare also date. You can compare strings. You can compare integers. All of this classes. Okay. Now this interface allows comparing or sorting objects. Any class that implements the comparable interface must have emit. Okay. So the type that the comparison will involve is added in this between these two brackets, and to compare. The compare to method allows the class to define an appropriate measure of comparison, okay, of these compare to. Okay, so comparing employees, it is different from comparing students, it is different from comparing numbers, it is different from comparing strings. Okay, so you need just to write the implementation of compare to. Here, for example, you need to compare two employees in terms of salary, for example. So if the salary of the first one is greater, so I can say that I can return 1. Okay, it means that you have a greater salary or you have a lower salary, etc. So this is the definition. This definition is related to your requirement, to your object. Okay. It's okay. So we can stop here, inshallah. After al-holiday, inshallah, we will continue with this meeting 6. Thank you very much for your attendance. I will see you later in the lab after 10 minutes, inshallah. Okay. So just be there. Any question, guys?